Hello everyone, and welcome to a little tour of my personal fossil collection. Now, some of these are authentic, and also some of them are replicas. I'll make sure to point out which are which. So first up, we have Stegosaurus. Now, this is a pretty interesting little guy. If you know those large dome-headed dinosaurs called Pachycephalosaurus, you know, the ones that bang their heads into each other, that's basically a relative of those, but he's much smaller. He lived in around like Canada and areas like that during the late Cretaceous period. We aren't sure if Pachycephalosaurs actually used their dome skulls to bang into each other head on. That might cause head trauma or stuff like that. This is a strange animal that came before the dinosaurs. It's an amphibian called Diplocalus. Now, the thing that makes this creature unique is its very strange boomerang-like skull. It's kind of hard to describe, but we aren't exactly sure how this creature looked. We aren't sure if it just looked the way its skull looked, or if the skull was like an attachment to skin. Everyone knows the large theropods like Tyrannosaurus and Allosaurus, but one that was arguably more scary was Megaraptor. This was a large theropod from South America, and it's not actually related to Velociraptor technically, but it was much, much larger and had these large grizzly bear eagle-like claws on their hands. Now, these could have been used to catch fish or to take down sauropods. Now, what is actually a more close relative of Velociraptor is Deinonychus. However, Deinonychus was slightly larger than Velociraptor and lived millions of years earlier in North America. Now, Megaraptor's claws are pretty big, but the largest claws potentially of any animal to ever exist belong to Therizinosaurus. Now, these do look pretty intimidating, but these creatures were probably herbivores. And a recent study in 2023 theorized that these claws were more likely for display rather than actually scratching predators. However, some of their earlier cousins like Alchosaurus or Falcarius could have used these claws in defense. Triceratops needs no introduction. It's one of the most famous dinosaurs to ever live. And it, of course, is known for its 3 horns, which would have been used in defense against the largest predatory dinosaur to ever live, Tyrannosaurus rex. That was the last of the replicas. This one has a bunch of different fossils. Some of the more notable ones were a stem from the shell of an Orthoceras, which is a pretty strange squid-like animal with a large unicorn-like shell, as well as an eggshell from a Saltosaurus, which was a large titanosaur from South America, along with an unidentified dinosaur bone, some shark teeth, and some invertebrate fossils. The last batch of fossils we have here are various marine animals from the late Cretaceous to the early Cenozoic. And some of the more notable fossils include many shark and stingray teeth, Otodus obliquus, which is a relative of Megalodon. It's in the same genus. There's some Mosasaurus teeth, you know, the giant water animals from Jurassic World. There's also a smaller relative of Mosasaurus, Platecarpus. There's a giant sea snake vertebrae of Paleophis, and some crocodile-like creatures like Kentisukis and Dirosaurus. So that concludes it for most of my fossil collection.